shut down in his last 2 games. Looks for a breakout night in Hamilton. Linebacker Terry Ray, all West, all Canadian, always aggressive, always around the ball.
Hamilton has found a diamond in the rough in linebacker Chris Schelling, who at 5'10", 180 pounds, proves size really doesn't matter. Well, unless you're Ron Williams, who is a perfect combination of power and finesse and is currently on the heels of Mike Pringle for the rushing title.
It's our first visit of 2001 to Iverwin in Hamilton, where the Ticats are unbeaten in 2 games, and the visiting Eskimos try to end a winless season on the road. A hot, humid 29 degrees, wind southwest at 17, blowing from left to right across your television screen.
We're expecting some showers, and wind should be a factor tonight.
Eskimo coach Tom Higgins may be a rookie, but he has the Eskimos a point in front of the pack in the West. He is enthusiastic, optimistic, energetic, and has spent most of his football career around the CFL.
Well, when Mr. Higgins was 5 years old, Ron Lancaster was a rookie in the CFL in Ottawa. He's been involved with this league for 42 years, and as a coach has recorded 133 wins overall. With the win tonight, he ties Ray Yock for 5th all-time.
Now, Higgins played against Lancaster, also played for him, and then coached with him, most recently with the Eskimos, and those 2 guys were here on the turf at Iverwin Stadium back in 1996. Remember the snow in that Grey Cup game?
Do I ever?
Do you remember the fumble that wasn't?
We were talking about that just yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Argos went on to win that one over the Eskimos. We're underway. This is Davis for the Tiger Cats. Finds a little room underneath, and he's to the 25. Danny McManus is back in the groove. Right there with the leaders among CFL quarterbacks. Tony Akins, Darren Flutie, Andrew Gregg are among the league's top receivers. Ronald Williams is second in rushing. Up front, the Tiger Cats are solid. Rookie guard Paul Lambert fits in nicely with the league's stingiest offensive line. Just 1 sack allowed by the big guys up front in Hamilton. Tony Akins to the near side. 2 receivers far side of the field. McManus hands off to Ronald Williams, and that play is snuffed out quickly. Robert Brown got there for the tackle.
The front 7 for the Edmonton defense got 1 change. Steve Anderson out with a sore shoulder, replaced by Albert Reese. Robert Brown in there as well. Doug Peterson is the leader with 2 sacks on the season. In the secondary, Torrey Hunter and Perry Carter are on the corners. Chris Hardy has an interception, should have 3, but had 2 called back this year.
Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Midas. Keep a good thing going. Go Midas. Second down, almost 10 yards to go for the Tiger Cats. Snapped a little high. McManus brought it down. He has Akins. Oh, and he dropped the ball. Akins had it in his mitts, and it'll be a lonely walk back to the bench.
Well, it's a corner pattern where Tony Akins found himself in one-on-one coverage on Terry Ray. Now, Terry Ray is one of those linebackers who can run, but that's a matchup that Hamilton may go back to because he was open. You see the 3 or 4 yards of separation, but Tony Akins just can't hang on to the football. And it's humid here tonight, and that could be a factor. That ball is going to be slick coming out of the hands of the quarterback.
Osbaldiston back at his 10, having a whale of a season.
She'll be a slick pigskin tonight.
Donnie Ashley doesn't have a play, but the Eskimos will have a decent place to begin after a 43-yard punt. Nealon Green is still number 1 in Edmonton. However, the Eskimos are calling themselves a 2-quarterback team these days. And Herbie and Terry Vaughn lead the receiving corps for the Eskimos. Donnie Ashley starts for the injured Kes McCorvey. Up front, a few leaks, Glenn. The Eskimos' offensive line has allowed a league-leading 11 sacks already. Edmonton from the 41 and from the shotgun. Nice fake by Green. Looks to take off. Monfort had him in his sights and corrals him there. Jason Lamar was over to help on the tackle.
1 change up front in the Hamilton defense. Ben Huff is out with an injury, replaced by Tom Hips. Chris Schelling off to a great start in this CFL season. And in the secondary, Rob Hitchcock is the leader around a group of rookies, but they played 5 games together, and each game out, they get a little bit better.
Numbers are not staggering for Green so far this season. Too many interceptions compared to the touchdowns. Second and 10. And this time they wrap him up. Idris Haroun, number 91. Two very quick ends in Hamilton when you count Joe Montford on the other side and Haroun on this side.
Idris Haroun happens to be the opposite end away from Joe Mumford, and they love his speed. Haroun made the team in the last preseason game versus the Montreal Alouettes. He really hadn't shown a whole lot in training camp and in the first preseason game, but in one game versus Montreal, did exactly what the coaches wanted him to do. He made the roster, and now he's getting a chance to prove himself. He gets a good start tonight.
Big pressure from the Tiger Cats defense. One sack forces the Eskimos' Sean Fleming into a punting situation. High and coming down at the 40. Mace Freeman is wrestled out near the 47 on an 8-yard return and a 40-yard punt. It's Wendy's CFL Live from Hamilton.
Want to win $1 million? Shop and swipe your Safeway Club card for automatic $1 million touchdown to win entry. If your name appears, you could win $1 million if 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns in today's game. Shop and swipe at Safeway today.
Wendy's CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
What a run Darren Flutie has had through the Canadian Football League. 39 career 100-yard games. Tommy Scott sitting with 40, and that's good for 4th spot. So Flutie 100 yards away from moving up another notch among the CFL's top receivers all time. McManus, shotgun. He has Corey Grant, and Corey Grant has a first down. He's inside Eskimo territory at about the 47. Keys for success tonight.
Well, if you're facing a hot Danny McManus, really there's not a defense in the league that can stop him. I truly believe that. So for Edmonton, I think they have to sustain drives offensively. The best defense is a good offense. Hamilton, just keep doing what you're doing on defense. They have got 2 leaders that are getting it done so far. And Ivor win. 2 wins for the Ticats here. Edmonton hasn't won on the road yet.
Corey Grant over the middle. This will be another first down as Grant just takes off. He's inside the 20. Almost uncatchable.
Probably the speediest receiver in the receiving corps for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and runs just a quick crossing route across the middle. And when he does that, he's going to shoot right across the middle of your screen here. Catch that ball on the run, and Perry Carter in chase all the way from the cornerback position. Can't catch up to him for the big game. I think the best way to describe this offense in Hamilton is balance. They can spread them out, or they can run a power game at you as well.
Well, they've got a 6 receiver set, and Corey Grant isn't even listed as a starter, but he has 2 catches back-to-back for 42 yards, and McManus goes to it again. Morreale, end zone, right through his hands. The coverage was tight. I'm not sure if he was distracted. I thought he had the touchdown. McManus couldn't have thrown it much more perfectly.
Well, no, he put it right where it had to be, and Mike Morreale did a nice job at the bottom of the screen to your right of just pushing off the coverage of Shannon Garrett at the last second. Right there with his right arm, he creates enough separation to give himself a chance at the football. But again, it must be slick because it's so humid out there. That's 2 big drops for
Aikens earlier, Morreale there. 2nd and 10. From the 20, McManus a little high and outside that time. They'll have to settle for 3. The first toss for Darren Flutie with Ralph Staten covering.
Part of the problem when it is this humid like it is here in Hamilton is that the guys are sweating so much that the sweat just runs down their arms and into their gloves, because a lot of the receivers are wearing gloves tonight. But that sweat will just soak up in those gloves, so they'll go through 4 or 5 pairs while this game progresses. We've already seen 2 big drops by Hamilton.
Osbaldiston good on 13 of 16. 81% of his field goal attempts. From the 27. And Ozzie has the first 3 points of the night. A drop in the end zone. The Ticats have to settle for 3. Lancaster has the lead, but he's not all that happy. Let's go down to John Lou.
Well, John, it's down to 30 degrees here at field level, and prior to the game, 40 degrees Celsius with the humidity calls to mind the conditions that brought about the death of the Minnesota Vikings' Corey Stringer. Now, the reaction from players on both teams here tonight ranged from shock to concern, but the overriding sentiment was that that would not have happened in the CFL. For instance, during Ticats training camp, head coach Ron Lancaster would cut practices short as soon as the humidex hit 100 Fahrenheit. As for the Eskimos, well, it didn't get hot enough in Edmonton during training camp for that to happen. But the bottom line is the players do feel that the CFL takes much better care of its players' health.
For the Eskimos, Mobley gets it out to the 40 on the kickoff after the Ticat field goal, a 20-yard return.
Very unfortunate situation in the NFL, but yeah, the guys are very concerned with hydrating these players and make sure they get enough fluids on the sideline. In between each play, they'll go off and they'll make sure they drink as much water as they can drink so that they don't cramp up or worse in this game tonight.
Eskimos beginning at the 40. Nice fake by Nealon Green. Sacked for the third time. That's Mike Philbrick. Arun, Lamar, and Philbrick have all gotten to the Eskimo quarterback.
Well, it doesn't seem to matter who they plug into that defensive line because it's anchored by Joe Mumford and Mike Philbrick. Philbrick is the leader in the middle of that defensive line. He gets the good push up the middle. You'll watch, see Nealon Green has to step up in there, and you see Mike Philbrick is right there to grab him as he does.
Big loss. 3 sacks already. Mark Nora doesn't get anywhere near the yardage he needed for a first down. It was second and almost 20.
I got to show you the great quickness of Joe Mumford. We talked about him being the key to that defense. Watch how quick he's got contain up the field. See, his job right there is contain. When he sees the ball has gone to Mark Nora, he has the quickness and speed to get back into the play and make the tackle. He really did 2 responsibilities on the play: contain the quarterback, who happens to be Nealon Green, and then back to Mark Nora.
Tony Akins is deep for the Tiger Cats, standing back at his 25. Fleming is in. He's at the Eskimo 27. Big charge was on. That made him rush it a bit. And this is not deep, but the Eskimos get a good bounce from it. Akins wrapped up in a hurry by A.J. Gass. -1 on the return. And with the roll, the punt travels 48. McManus did everything he could on that last drive.
Well, yeah, and he's done everything he can all year long, and what a season he's having. When you look at 0 interceptions for Danny McManus after 4 games, and we talked about it in the pregame show, but in case you're just tuning in, to give you some perspective, over the last 6 years, Danny McManus has thrown 23 interceptions per year on average. So he should have 5, 6 about now. He has 0.
Well, he had 29 last season and didn't play all the games. Ronald Williams. Troy Davis, number 32, in for Williams.
Well, I talked about the key word for the Hamilton offense being balance. They have so many formations now. They can go with Ron Williams and Troy Davis. They can go with Randy Bowles at fullback and Ron Williams. They can go with that spread 6 receiver set that you talked about earlier, John. They can do it all, and everybody on the field knows each position, so there's no bus when they do change up formations.
2nd and 5. McManus puts it up. No one home. Greg, though, has his hands up, and a penalty marker comes down, so the coverage was a little too tight, apparently, from Perry Carter on Andrew Gregg.
And I think when Andrew Gregg had to turn back to the football, the ball was thrown to the opposite side, and when Gregg had to turn back to his right, he ran right into Perry Carter.
Legal contact on the receiver. Edmonton, number 18, first down.
Yeah, and that's why it's illegal contact and not pass interference. Perry Carter just sort of standing there and basically got run into.
Carter's had a tough beginning because it was Akins who, or rather Corey Grant, who ran right by him on the previous Tiger Cat drive. Grant to the near side. This is Ronald Williams. Fired back after a gain of maybe 4.
Hamilton Tiger Cats pulling over there to lead it up in there for Ron Williams on the play. Dave Hack, one of the guys, are going to try and pick up somebody. He's going to come from this side of the screen and come all the way across on the pull. You see number 68 and 55 right there is Chris Burns. There's a good block on AJ Gass, and then it's Big Doug Peterson who makes the tackle, but not after a few yards from Ron Williams.
Make it a 3-yard gain. This is 2nd and 7. Shotgun McManus. Near side. Good target, and Morreale couldn't bring it home. Staten was covering number 38.
Well, I'm going to start keeping track. That's 3 drops for first downs. 1 was a touchdown for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and obviously the weather a factor here for them tonight.
Morreale has 2 of those, and the 1 that was in the end zone.
1 was for a touchdown. That was very catchable, and it was past the first down marker. And, you know, Danny McManus has been on target all night, but the stats so far won't show that.
Ozzie sails this one. Rick Walters. Nice return to about the 37. No damage there after a 13-yard return. Clifford Ivory leading the tacklers. Eskimos down by 3. Coach Tom Higgins knows the Eskimos have been a 1-quarterback team, but feels it's time to change that.
I've been in systems where we need to develop quarterbacks, and we need to be able to have more than one that's going to be able to develop for us and to deliver for us. It's not to say whether Jason Moss will ever be a number 1 or not. We know who number 1 is, and we got to help him get to where he needs to be. But it's a philosophy, and when I had the opportunity to take over 2 preseason games, in preseason you always play all your quarterbacks, but it was the regular season that we solidified that we got to develop too.
Nealon Green at the controls for the Eskimos. That was Mark Nora. Looking back historically, the Eskimos had Lemmerman and Wilkinson and Moon. Moon and Dunnigan and Damon.
Tracy Ham was in there somewhere.
Is in there somewhere.
Yeah.
So they have used the 2-quarterback system through the years.
Well, yeah, and you know, in my experience in Saskatchewan, when we had our most success, we had 2 quarterbacks in Tom Burgess and Ken Austin. I know quarterbacks don't necessarily like it, but it can be beneficial in a lot of ways.
Nealon Green. But there's nowhere to go. Wrapped up by Woodson. Now look across the field at Ron Lancaster, and he hates the 2-quarterback system. Well, first of all, he was a quarterback.
Right.
So he always has one guy in charge. And things do change an awful lot when you've got Danny McManus. You don't really have a 2-quarterback system.
Well, and he was in both, because in Saskatchewan it was Ron Lancaster, no question about it. But in Ottawa, he was there with Russ Jackson. And that became a 2, and he didn't like that, so he left. So, you know, he hates it, but he's a quarterback. And he has Danny McManus, by the way.
And that changes a whole bunch when
sure
you've got
does.
a clear number 1. This is Mace Freeman. Forced out by France Clarkson. 40-yard punt, 12 on the return. First flight in the morning. Off to Calgary will be McMahon to see if those winning streaks can continue for the Argos and the Stampeders.
Well, I'll tell you what, after a couple weeks, I was looking at the schedule thinking that Toronto-Calgary game may be kind of ugly. But after a couple big wins, the Stampeders and the Argos look great against Saskatchewan. Completely different team. I'm really looking forward to that matchup on Friday night.
Corey Grant near side. 5 receivers set for the Tiger Cats. McManus drills it in. This one is caught and held on to. But then again, it's Darren Flutie, and he doesn't drop many.
Well, he just, you know, I talked about the slick pigskin. Well, he just stuck a fork in it. A couple forks, as a matter of fact, and they're on the end of his right and left hand. Watch how he hesitates in the seam, and then he has to reach out and stab it. With Chris Hardy bearing down.
Darren Scissorhand.
Darren Fork Hands.
26-yard gain for the Tiger Cats. Again, it's Grant to the near side. Greg to the far side of the field. 2 backs in. McManus looked for Ronald Williams.
Danny McManus, John, wanted to go back to Darren Flutie, and the Edmonton Eskimos had an extra player on the field, and it was the umpire. The official got in the way, I believe, because Darren Flutie was coming across the middle. Watch Flutie come across. Danny McManus wants to deliver the ball right now, but the umpire's standing there, so he holds on to it. You see the umpire right there. He holds on to the ball, and then he has to get rid of it to the sideline and can't complete the pass.
This is what we talked about earlier with Tom Scott.
Yeah.
A number of 100-yard receiving games.
Every time Darren Flutie catches a pass, he moves closer up the list on yardage, catches, 100-yard games. He's going to be close to taking it all.
McManus looked for Akins. Staten was covering.
Ralph Staten is usually a guy who's going to play the deep coverage. May have surprised Danny McManus that he had slid across the middle there. I don't think he even saw him.
Staten got a hand on it, I do believe.
Yeah. He goes the other way with that one. He gets both hands on it. He's still running.
So this drive stalls for the Tiger Cats after a couple of first downs. One key play and a big gain of 26 by Darren Flutie. So on the exchange, Hamilton will force the Eskimos a little deeper into Edmonton territory. This is Donnie Ashley, 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he can't get out of there. So he gives up the single points.
We talked about the 2 quarterbacks in Edmonton. Jason Moss is the backup, and what a game he had versus the Calgary Stampeders, completing 75% of his passes in that game and 2 big touchdowns, 0 interceptions. They feel like they have not only 2, but 3 quarterbacks in Edmonton that can play. Dan Crowley is number 3. And coming out of training camp last year, most of the players felt that Dan Crowley had won the number 1 job. So you got Dan Crowley, who's got the clipboard, Jason Moss, who we will likely see tonight, and Nealon Green. That's a pretty nice situation for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Well, there are teams drooling at that possibility when you've got 3, because Crowley has proven, at least at times, that he can move a football team. Mark Nora has struggled the last couple of weeks.
John,
just 5 yards against Calgary in week 3 and 32 yards against the Alouettes last week. So Montford puts the stop on Mark Nora.
You mentioned Dan Crowley having success. If you think back to last year in week 3 versus Winnipeg, Dan Crowley threw 5 touchdown passes in that game and close to 400 yards. He has had success, and that's the film that people watch when they say, hey, this guy can play as well.
6 yards for Nora. 2nd and 4 for the Eskimos. Shotgun, Nealon Green. Pumped once. This one is up for grabs, and who comes down with it? It's an Eskimo at the 50-yard line as Terry Vaughn waited and brought it down. It'll be an Edmonton first down.
You know, I think Terry Vaughn should get a whole bunch of credit for something, and that is for not becoming a problem in the locker room. All-time great Terry Vaughn, 6 straight years over 1,000 yards, but his production since the start of the season has dropped drastically. Started out in BC with 10 catches. Last week in Montreal had just 2. But he's not complaining. He said to me today, he hopes Nealon Green plays well. That's all he cares about.
Haroon got a hand on the ball and tipped it. Vaughn brought it down. Here's the heat on Green. Can he get away? This one is safe.
And John, that just barely got past the line of scrimmage. I want to say maybe a yard, because if it doesn't, it's intentional grounding. Nealon Green obviously in huge trouble. Haroon is back there. Joe Mumford is in chase.
And Chris Schelling right there.
And Schelling right there. Obviously, Nealon Green just trying to throw that football away and save the loss, because it was going to be a huge loss. That ball bounced 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, and that makes it a legal throw.
So the Eskimos back to the original line of scrimmage. It could have been worse. They're looking at 2nd and 10 at the 50. And that play is whistled down.
Nealon Green saw blitz coming from Chris Schelling, and we talked about Schelling in the game he had last week. A real tremendous game for young Chris Schelling. Well, he was coming on the blitz again. Nealon Green wanted to audible out of it when he saw him coming.
Time count violation. Edmonton, number 15.
And that's what he got for it.
Well, not a bad week for Schelling. 2 sacks, 7 tackles, 1 knockdown,
Oh, boy.
and 1 forced fumble.
There's Schelling right there. You see him coming up in the blitz, and right in the middle, they blew it dead because Nealon Green had taken too long. But when you have a game like that, the quarterback's looking for you in the next week. Nealon Green saw him moving around and tried to change the play.
Please reset the clock to read 107. 107, please.
Quick opening quarter with only 3 points up. Now you look at Schelling, number 30 for the Tiger Cats. And you look at number 28, Terry Ray for the Eskimos.
Wow.
How similar are these guys in the kind of impact they're having? They play exactly the same position.
Well, they really do, and they're both called tweeners. We've talked about it before. Converted defensive backs have moved up, and that's been sort of the evolution of defense in the Canadian Football League. But this guy's real small, and Schelling, he's just about 180 pounds.
And he's 5'9" and a bit. Second in a bunch. Green goes for the home run toss. He's got his target. And Herbie wide open at the 20.
There was a bust in the Hamilton coverage. When I say bust, basically that means mistake, because Ed Hervey was in behind Brandon Hamilton, but I don't believe he's going to come from the left of your screen. But I don't believe that Brandon Hamilton was responsible for Ed Hervey. The safety, Rob Hitchcock, is out of the middle. He's coming up into the line of scrimmage, and there's Brandon Hamilton. He makes the tackle that saves the touchdown, but that wasn't his man.
It was 2nd and 15, a 40-yard gain for the Eskimos. They threaten to score. Green far side has Herbie again. Bashed out in a hurry.
They were happy to have Ed Hervey in the lineup, especially after that big play. Remember last week, Ed Hervey threw the football. He says it was a mistake, and when you look at the replay, it looks like a mistake. It hit the official in the side of the head. He was thrown out of the game. The league is still looking at disciplinary action. They haven't done anything, so Ed Hervey, at this point, so Ed Hervey gets to play tonight. Think they need him?
Yeah, I think they do with McCorvey gone, and Hervey had a big week against the Stampeders with a couple of touchdowns. 2nd and 5. Green under the cover. No catch for Terry Vaughn.
You know, and sometimes we've seen the Hamilton Tiger Cats drop a couple that they should have caught. Well, I think you got to give that one to Terry Billups, who was covering on the play. Yeah, he did. It was good coverage on the play. See the one-on-one, and Billups just sits in that back pedal, and then he gets the right hand over and just strips that ball.
Final moments of quarter number 1 with the Ticats on top, 4-0 at Ivor Wynn.
Wendy's, CFL live at the quarter.
Well, it's not exactly a thing of beauty right now. It's 4-0, but Eric Tillman, Edmonton's lucky. It could be a little bit worse because Hamilton had some missed opportunities.
Yeah, and Edmonton has an opportunity right now to score in this series and either, get right back in this game. You know, why? Drop footballs. That's all you have to look at. You have to take advantage of situations and help your quarterback. You see Aiken drop the corner route here, right in his hands. This play, McManus throws the ball inside. It's a corner route. He throws it inside away from coverage. Yes, Morielli has to make the adjustment, but you have to catch the football. And while I'm beating on Tony Aiken, let me talk about another pet peeve. Fill the punt, young man. Catch the ball and get upfield. Don't let it bounce. You kill your team and cost them field position, Chris.
But on the other side, I think the defensive front seven for the Hamilton Ticats is doing a great job because they're being aggressive, but they're being disciplined right at the same time. Watch Joe Montfort early in the football game when the emotions are at your highest, when the adrenaline is going. He's going through his progression of possibilities. What if Nealon Green makes the boot? He is right there at the right time. Sets up this other play by Haroon. Inside out, he goes for that upfield shoulder. Nice job defensively. Right place, right time. Good job.
Chris, you talking about Hamilton? You talking about Hamilton? Let me talk about Edmonton. I talked to the offensive coordinator, Danny Langsdorff, about their offense, what they want to do at Nealon Green. They wanted to get him out and around. It means stretch the defense horizontally across the field. And this is what they're trying to do. But they're not having success because Mumford, Chris, like you said, is containing. They're doing a good job of staying at home. But you have to set that up. You have to run the football. You have to establish the line of scrimmage, establish run, put the fear in the defense that you can run the ball. Norris only touched the ball one time on 1st and 10, Dave.
And whichever quarterback is in there for Edmonton, he is going to face some pressure. 3 sacks already by the Ticats. They just missed a 4th. Let's get you back to Ivor Wynn. John and Glenn.
As usual, lots of fun at Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. Sticky, sticky night, but I'd rather be up here sweating than down there sweating.
You know what the key is? The key is hydrate. Lots of water up here, buddy, because I'm melting. We've seen some drops. The weather definitely a factor here tonight, but let's not it affect our game.
No, and how much weight would a big lineman down there lose when it's 30 degrees?
Well, they'll lose 10, 12 pounds tonight.
Well, I hope we do, too.
That'd be nice.
Eskimos after their first points of the game, and Fleming has 3, so the lead is reduced to 1 point for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Hamilton really should have had at least 10 points in the first half, but
Tony Aikens doesn't drop that one, turns the corner, maybe he scores. Mike Morelli was in the end zone when he drops it, so that was definitely 4 points off the scoreboard for Hamilton. And here's the numbers after a quarter of play, pretty even, especially in the time of possession, which is my favorite, because I always looked at that when I was playing defense, because if that got too high for the opposite team, I was getting tired. Pretty even right now, though, between both teams, and it's even on the scoreboard.
Well, as close as it could get at 4-3. Tom Higgins has a great deal of enthusiasm. He and Lancaster spent some time together when Lancaster led the Eskimos to a Grey Cup victory before coming on to Hamilton. And they worked together on a solid team in those days. Lancaster has had great success in Tigerville as well.
Well, you know, there's football coaches and then there's football men that are just, you know, it's in their blood. And I think with both of these guys, Ron Lancaster and Tom Higgins, it's just in their blood. They can sit and talk to you about football forever until you tell them it's time to go.
Well, yeah, and if you say it's time to go with Lancaster, he'll just tell you one more story.
Exactly.
Returning for the Tiger Cats, Davis found a little hole there and almost broke away. 21 on the return, and Shannon Garrett got over to make the tackle on Troy Davis. Quarterbacks. Interesting matchup tonight. The veteran Danny McManus in his 12th CFL season.
You know, Danny McManus, when everyone's talking about him throughout his career, they've always said great quarterback, but it always has that but on it, and that but has always been the interception totals for Danny McManus. They always said good quarterback, but throws too many interceptions. Well, now we can talk about the opposite in Danny McManus. 0 so far, and I just can't emphasize it enough how important it is, because a turnover, like an interception, changes the game.
A little heat on McManus this time. Look for Randy Bowles, the rookie fullback.
Boy, they've been happy with Randy Bowles. And when they lost Dwayne Ford, the fullback that had signed here as a free agent in Hamilton, they lost him to an injury in the preseason. Randy Bowles stepped in out of Simon Fraser, and obviously question marks when you're playing a rookie. Can he block well enough? Can he protect the backside on those rush ends? And boy, has he done a great job.
Tight end at Simon Fraser when he played out there. Shotgun, 3 receivers near side. McManus almost put up his first of the season. There was a great opportunity for Mobley there.
Well, you don't see it very often with this offense, but there was some miscommunication out there, because it looked to me like Mike Morelli right here, he kind of curled in, and I think McManus thought he would curl out the opposite way. And Darren Flutie read something completely different. He goes on the wheel to the outside and down the sideline. So when you see Flutie go down the sideline, the ball was actually thrown in between Flutie and Mike Morelli. So a little indecision for Danny McManus.
Donnie Ashley, the main return guy for the Eskimos in the absence of the Giz. He's in his first year of retirement. Ashley takes it on the second hop. He might as well have gone down right then. Ticats on top, 4-3. It's Wendy's CFL Live from Iverwin. Back in Hamilton, watching Nealon Green of the Eskimos. The struggle has been evident this season.
Well, he's the lowest rated passer in the Canadian Football League after 4 weeks. See a couple of bad plays in the BC Lion game and then against Calgary where he was injured and taken out of that game right on that play. That's when Jason Moss came in and basically won it for him. So he has struggled, no question about it, and he struggled on the road.
Green and the Eskimos. First down. Walters couldn't bring it in near the 40.
Talk about the problems for this team on the road. They've scored 5 touchdowns so far offensively, and just one of them have been on the road. And you know, they've struggled finishing drives. And Nealon Green, it just looks like he's taken a step back. But under Don Matthews, there was no question Nealon Green was the guy. Under Tom Higgins, things are a little bit different. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe 1-2 more series that Nealon Green struggles, we may see Jason Moss in the lineup.
Rob Herron into the game for the Eskimos. He flanks to the near side. It's 2nd and 10. Eskimos in a trips formation. Green looks to run, and he can't get away from Rob Hitchcock.
Rob Hitchcock came up and showed the blitz, and then he really didn't come hard. He sort of picked his moment to sort of slide to the position he needed to be in to make that tackle. Good push up the field by Joe Montford, and then Hitchcock just slides over, and he'll get the tackle, make Edmonton punt.
4th 2 and out. It ain't easy being Green some nights.
Well, you know, you see such a great upside when you can see him run, do what he does, when he uses his legs and sprints to the outside, throws on the run. He reminds you of a lot of Damon Allen in a lot of ways, but he has struggled this year, and Tom Higgins, it's all about winning.
Fleming got it away. Mace Freeman calls for it, but he won't get to play it. Fleming hammered that one into about row 5. Another 2 and out for the Eskimos, and then this.
Bad punt, only 10 yards. Watch Sean Daniels here. He's got to block Clifford Ivory, who's going to come up the field and then cut underneath. He doesn't get a piece of the ball, but he affects the kicking motion of Sean Fleming. Fleming gets the 10-yarder away, and now Hamilton has great field position. Sometimes you don't have to block it, you just have to be a presence, and number 13 was right up there bothering the kicker, and he shanks it.
So look where the Tiger Cats are now. Set up at the Eskimo 37, 1st and 10. Hamilton leading by 1 at 4-3. This is Ronald Williams, who hasn't been able to break one tonight. It's been tough slugging for Williams, who has had such a super start to the season and averaged 5.8 yards a carry. That for about 3.
One of the reasons for that may be that Carl Coulter is a little banged up. He didn't practice all week. In fact, there was some question as to whether or not he would even start in the game. He is the leader on that offensive line with 12 years of experience. He brings the toughness to that unit, and he's been pretty banged up all week long.
3 carries for Williams, just 7 yards. 2nd and 7. Ticats. McManus under the cover. And that one was batted down. Fred Perry was in the area.
Fred Perry made back-to-back plays there for Edmonton because he was the guy who slid down and tackled Ron Williams on the first play, first down, and then he gets his hand on the ball right there as he rushes upfield. So back-to-back big plays for Fred Perry, who has a couple sacks on the year after 4 games.
So the Tiger Cats can't take advantage of a break and will settle for Ozzie from the 41. He's got it. Couple for Ozzie. Had a 7 field goal night, opening night against the Rough Riders in Saskatchewan.
Unbelievable kick there, though, for Paul Balson. From that far out, it was a tough kick because Darren Flutie juggled the hold a little bit. And that took the timing out of the kick. So he kind of hesitated, and then he did it with all leg. Either way, they count.
Take the 3. Tennis on TSN tomorrow. The Masters Series continues 11 a.m. with quarterfinal action. ATP Masters Series Tennis on TSN tomorrow. Football on TSN tonight from Iverwin Stadium in Hamilton. Whoa, sticky here.
Well, in some ways, we got a bit of a tennis match right here, punting back and forth to each other. No one really been able to find the end zone.
The Ticats have made some big plays, but they haven't been able to get it across the line. Mark Nora, his best run of the night, charging straight ahead, maybe a little to his right.
Yeah, well, that time the offensive line for the Edmonton Eskimos got a bit of a push up front.
7 yards for Nora as he goes behind Bruce Beaton.
They get a little bit of push this way, and when they do that, see how they'll step up, get a little bit of a push. They get onto the second level. Lamar gets blocked there by Val St. Germain, and Nora gets a little bit of a bubble to run through.
This will be 2nd and 3. The Eskimos trailing by 4. Edmonton from the 42. Sean Daniels will have the first down.
Well, you know, when you go back to the 2 wins for the Edmonton Eskimos, one was Saskatchewan 13-11 in week 2. That game, Mark Nora rushed for 112 yards, and he was really the big factor for them. In their second win in Calgary, it was big plays in the passing game. But when Nora's running the football and creating some balance in the offense, gives Nealon Green a chance to settle in.
And they keep it on the ground again to Nora now. The ball has popped loose. Woodson is on it for the Tiger Cats. They rule it a fumble. Nora has his hat off. And the ruling is that he is down. At least that's the initial indication.
We'll take another look and see if that ball hit the ground from a close-up field level look for you. He's down there, and no, the ball is ripped out by Haroon after the fact. He's lying on his back and he's down, so that won't be a discussion between Tom Higgins and Ron Lancaster like that 96 fumble in the Grey Cup when they were on the same team.
That was Flutie fumbling. Well, that was Doug Flutie. Green has Ashley, and they call it a catch. Donnie Ashley. Just back to that moment, the Grey Cup here, when they had the snow plows out on the field clearing away. I remember that. And it wasn't ruled a fumble against Doug Flutie playing for the Argonauts at the time, but many, many people thought it was. It didn't cost the Eskimos the Grey Cup, but it cost Edmonton a chance to win it.
Yeah.
Right? Or at least a chance to compete for it up to the end.
One of the classiest things that both Tom Higgins and Ron Lancaster didn't do after that was make it an issue. Really didn't talk about it in the media, and another classy move by that organization.
Eskimos continue along the ground with Mark Nora.
Well, see, now they got something going because they've got some balance.
Jason Lamar made the tackle on Nora. Hard to believe that you could shut this guy down for 5 yards as the Stampeders did a couple of weeks ago. And then in 32 against Montreal last week, that's 37 yards in a couple of games, well below his number.
And he talked about the success he had in week 2 at 112 yards. That's why once you have one of those games, expectations start to go up, and you set the bar a little higher. People expect more.
9 for Nora on the last play. This is 2nd and 1. Sean Daniels.
You know, and when you watch Nealon Green run the offense, when it's involved, when it's got the running game involved, he just looks more comfortable because, you know, he looks like the type of quarterback and has the physical attributes for a quarterback that can run like that option where he fakes it to the fullback. He keeps the ball in his hand. He's got a running back with him. He can run if he wants. It gives him 3-4 different options.
Daniels is up for the first down. The Eskimos are at the 25, 5 of 6 plays on the drive along the ground, and here's Nealon Green. Dangerous when he runs. He's down to about the 11-yard line.
See,
and that'll be another Eskimo first down.
Success, John, with Mark Nora up the middle gives Nealon Green more opportunities. We talk about it when we do BC Lion games with Damon Allen, but he's just going to take a jab step there and then head up here. But the ends have to get upfield and widen. And when they widen, they open the gap. See, Idris Haroon there went straight upfield, hoping to contain Nealon Green, and he opened up that inside gap a lot wider. Linebackers couldn't get there.
Solid drive for the Eskimos, and it's Nora again. Flags are down as Nora fights his way down to the 1. Ticats are normally pretty solid against the rushing game, allowing just 91 yards per.
But no matter how Edmonton caps off this drive, depending on what this flag is, they've done one thing very well, and that's keep the football out of the hands of Danny McManus. We talked about it as the key coming into this game. Probably the best defense is a good offense for Edmonton.
This drive began back at the Eskimo 35. And so far, it has netted 74 yards.
And it's been Nora left, Nora right, a couple of greens in between.
Running game tonight for the Eskimos, 12 carries for 74 yards. Well, it's pretty well this drive, isn't it?
Coming into this game, Mark Nora's average is about 4.6 every time he touches the ball, and the Hamilton Tiger Cats pretty good in stopping the run. In fact, they're ranked second in the league, first in yards per carry against. So Don Southern
Offside. Hamilton,
knows the importance of the running game.
Decline. First down.
It's a penalty against the Tiger Cats, declined.
Take a look at 4.3 yards given up per rush against the Hamilton defense. That's first in the league. Don Southern knows how important it can be for an offense if they're ripping off 6-7 yards on first down with the running game, and that's why he emphasizes it with his defense.
Eskimos go getting for the first touchdown of the night. A couple of cracks at it from inside the 2. Nora has it. Touchdown, Edmonton. Mark Nora. Second of the season for Mark Nora.
John, give the touchdown, give the drive, and give the lead to number 22, Mark Nora, because that was his drive. And you know what? It was a perfect finish to the drive. He capped it off well because he broke the first tackle from Jason Lamar to get in on second effort alone.
So the Eskimos have the lead for the first time tonight. And Fleming, after a tough punt the last time, gets a chance to add one more. 10-7 Eskimos. Mark Nora leads the way. Into the end zone from 1.5 yards away. Eskimos have the lead thanks to Mark Nora.
I want to show you a good football player by two hard-hitting players. There's Mark Nora in behind with the arrow and Rob Hitchcock. Watch Hitchcock slide into the hole and hit Mark Nora right in the mouth. But Nora so strong, keeps his feet, keeps battling. He runs into Sean Woodson as well, and he's just determined to cross the goal line with that football.
Eskimo kickoff. One tackle broken as Davis escapes. Troy Davis out to the 50. Best return of the night for the Tiger Cats. They'll try and answer this scoring drive of Mark Nora's for the Eskimos. 9 plays to cover 75 yards.
Well, it took 5:36 off the clock, and 5 of those 9 plays went to Mark Nora. Nealon Green had one key run in this drive as well, but it was a Mark Nora drive, and it was finished by number 22 as well.
Ticats begin at the 49. Ronald Williams, his best run of the night. There's a response from the Tiger Cat running back. He's to the 45 of the Eskimos.
Great blocks at the point of attack. The offensive line, watch the big boys up front here, open things up. Big Chris Burns, 55 on Fred Perry, gets just enough of him and Singor Mobley to spring Ron Williams. Chris Burns back in the lineup after suffering an ankle injury early in the season. He brings leadership to that group as well.
15 yards for Williams. He gets it again. A couple this time for the running back Ronald Williams.
3 out of 4 games this year, Ron Williams has been over 100 yards rushing. And yes, Mike Pringle is having another tremendous season, but Ron Williams is making it a race in the rushing title, just 68 yards back of Mr. Pringle over in Montreal. Now he is 6 touchdowns back as well.
Well, yes. And no one discounts the outstanding year that Pringle has had.
No way.
Nor the Alouettes, but it's nice to see someone give Mr. Pringle a bit of a run. McManus on second down. he missed Akins with coverage by Chris Hardy.
Chris Hardy read it perfectly, and I got a feel as a former safety for Chris Hardy. He had 3 interceptions in a game versus Saskatchewan this year, only one of which went in the stat sheet. That's tough.
Yeah.
You know, and to his credit, he didn't go and yell at the guys on his teammates that got the penalties that called back the interceptions.
6 interceptions last year for Hardy. So Osbaldiston is in again. Ticats have settled for field goals and hope to get this one. A 50-yarder. Has he got enough? Hit the crossbar. Dead ball. No points.
You could pay him a lot of money to do that again in 10 tries, but he can't do it.
Just that much.
Just hit the crossbar. It's a game of inches. He was a few inches short.
Eskimos looking for their first road win of the season. The Ticats looking to make it 4 in a row. And it's Edmonton on top 10-7. Interesting story when you look at the Eskimos vacating their wonderful stadium Commonwealth for the World Track and Field Championships, which begin tomorrow. The stadium has undergone an extensive renovation, $20 million.
Well, Ron Lancaster likes that he's at home. Doesn't like the score right now. You can tell by his face on that one, but he likes that he's at home. This is a team that's perfect so far here at Ivor Wynne Stadium.
Eskimos got points in their last drive. Mark Nora's touchdown. And this time 3 Ticats were waiting for number 22.
And this is why the expectations are higher on Mark Nora, because you saw how much power he had when he ran into Rob Hitchcock down at the goal line. And on this play, he makes a great move in the open field, and he beats Sean Woodson on the play. And this time he uses his feet and quickness. The last time he used his power. So he's brought both to his game this season.
Hitchcock making the stop and limiting the gain. But Nora does have 7, and this is 2nd and 3. Good bet Nora gets it again, and this time he's stopped. Joe Montford was waiting, and so was the middle linebacker Jason Lamar. 3 minutes to halftime. It's the Eskimos leading the Tiger Cats 10-7.
Good 2-man game between Joe Montford right here and Jason Lamar back here. Joe Montford steps up and doesn't allow Mark Nora to get outside, and then watch Jason Lamar fill the hole. See, Montford has taken away the outside lane, and here comes Jason Lamar to hold Mark Nora short of the first down.
So Lamar makes the play. Montford gets the assist there. Yeah, we're in Hamilton at the half. We'll send you back DSN Control for analysis of this first half. Hot start by the Tiger Cats, but they weren't able to capitalize.
How much do you think Matt Dunnigan was cringing when they dropped those receivers, dropped those passes early?
Gambling on 3rd down and less than a yard to go. The Eskimos at the 35, and a question of whether or not they've gotten this one. What do you think?
Wow, it's too close to call. I mean, Nealon Green went right down to the bottom of the pile. They had to get right to the 35, and that's right where the ball is sitting. But you know what? They're going to say that it is
first down without a measure.
Without a measurement. We'll take a look at that, because I don't know that he made it. It looked like Nealon Green dropped the football. He has to get to this line right here. Look at him. Now, I think he drops the football right here. His knee goes down back here somewhere. I'm not sure he got that one.
Well, it is a first down. This Eskimo drive continues. Edmonton scored on the last one. Terry Vaughn is forced out near the 47. Always the go-to guy in this Edmonton offense, Terry Vaughn. 22 receptions, 282 yards coming into this one tonight. Over 1,200 yards last year.
Yeah, when I went and asked him about his production this year, he started the year with 10 catches, went down to 6 versus Saskatchewan, 4 versus Calgary, 2 versus Montreal. I said, "You're going the wrong direction, buddy." He just gave me a big, big smile. Said, "Hey, as long as Nealon's playing okay, I'm happy."
Eskimos at the 47. Green will take off. Eluded the first wave, and he's down after crossing the 52. So positive yardage for Green and the Eskimos.
Yeah, and give the assist to Bruce Beaton. Saved the turnover. Because that ball came out of the hands of Nealon Green, and Beaton fell on it. And I think this was a legal fumble. Watch him take up the field to his left. Now right here, Jason Lamar, he's in on the tackle. That ball is out of there and on the ground, and there is Bruce Beaton. That's a bit of an Edmonton bounce.
It is. It bounced back, actually, a little bit. The Eskimos retain possession and look at 2nd and 6 after 4 for Nealon. Whistle down. There are flags everywhere.
3rd down.
Time count violation. Edmonton, number 15. 3rd down.
Yeah, see, that cost them a down in the final 3 minutes.
That's right. Inside of 3 minutes, time count violation costs you a down, and that costs the Edmonton Eskimos a chance to put some more points on the board before the half, because with 1:46 left, plenty of time here on 2nd and about 6.
Lots of opportunities. If you're gambling back at the 40, you would gamble near the 50. Well, I'm guessing, I mean, on a drive like this, if you had very short yardage, so that cost them a down and an opportunity.
Well, they'll punt the ball away. Now they give the ball to Danny McManus. He has time to put together some plays back-to-back here and see if he can't get some points before the half.
Horrific error. Akins is back for the Tiger Cats. Fleming still thinking about the 10-yarder, I'm sure. This is well past the 10-yard mark. Akins wrapped up neatly inside the 20 after a 6-yard return. 47-yard punts.
Well, we've been talking a lot about Danny McManus, how well he's played this year. His numbers don't show that after close to a half of football here, 3 of 13, but I've written down 4 drops. 7 of 13 would look a lot better.
Well, he's missed his last 6 for one reason or another. Drops by Akins, Morreale, and then Morreale in the end zone. Ticats beginning at the 19. McManus shotgun. Has time. Has Mace Freeman, who's got outstanding speed. He's out to the 40 with 1:29 left in the opening half.
And in 1:29, you can score twice. You could score 2 majors in the CFL. In other words, Danny McManus could score. Edmonton could still have time to drive down. That's how it works in the Canadian Football League. And he's running the hurry-up offense. Edmonton rushing just 3 at this point.
Freeman has 21 yards. Couple of fakes. In behind Morreale, just a tad. Catchable, however, I thought.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the 3rd one for Mike Morreale. Right over the middle, right in his stomach. You know, to Danny McManus' credit, he keeps going back to Mike Morreale. Okay, maybe a bit behind him, but that's a catch that Mike Morreale has made.
4 drops for the Tiger Cats now. Corey Grant to the near side along with Mike Morreale. Flutie in motion to the far side of the field, and that one is batted down. Terry Ray.
I think, yeah, they're ruling that he got the catch. Looked close. Terry Ray came flying over there, swung his arm in there, but they marked the ball at the 1st down. And you know, when the receivers are struggling, where do you think Danny Mac's going to go?
Well, he's going to Flutie for certain.
No question.
1st down, far side. Andrew Gregg will have the 1st down.
He's going to get some penalty yardage tacked on as well. Looked like Ralph Staten grabbed the face mask as he made the tackle on Andrew Gregg, and that's going to tack on some yardage. So all of a sudden, Hamilton, the 1:06 left, is in field goal range.
Major foul, face mask, Edmonton, number 38, 1st down.
No question. Fairly unnecessary, too, at that point.
Danny McManus got a drive going. They're in field goal range already with lots of time to put it in for the major.
1:06 to go till halftime. McManus shotgun as this begins at the 35. McManus to the end zone and a little shy. Looking for Mace Freeman.
John, why do they love Terry Ray? This is why they love Terry Ray. Mace Freeman and Corey Grant, probably the two fastest receivers Hamilton have. Terry Ray was stride for stride with Mace Freeman down the sideline. This is the linebacker in the Edmonton Eskimo defense. And you can tell this heat is affecting them. They're getting tired. He's in great shape, and he looks a little tired.
Second down and 10 to go. Ticats at the Eskimo 35. McManus looks in three directions, has Flutie, and just missed him. The opportunity was there for McManus to hit Flutie in behind the cover.
The opportunity was there because Danny McManus had so much time to throw the football. Here's Flutie. He's going to come to the outside and then bend back into the middle. But he is the fourth receiver that Danny McManus looks at. He has to get through the jam of Torrey Hunter. Now he's open. McManus has looked to three receivers to his left and then goes back to Darren Flutie and overthrows him a little bit. Well, watch the steamboats that Danny McManus has. One steamboat, two steamboat, three steamboat, three. There it is, and off in 4 or 5 seconds.
Field goal try. Paulos Baldiston. He's wide. Ashley decides to take it out. He's got a seam down the near side. And he's out to about the 20-yard line. So things have not gone well for the Tiger Cats at certain stages of this game, and McManus opened with such a hot hand.
Well, you know, and it's not that his hand is really not that hard. It's just he has too many drops. 4 drops in this game that would have been big plays offensively. And now you have Paulos Baldiston, usually solid, has missed a couple of field goals that he's made. So, you know, it's just missed opportunities for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Edmonton with 1 drive have the lead. That was the Mark Nora drive.
Well, and time on the clock for the Eskimos, for Nealon Green to get something done here. 39 seconds till the half. On a steamy night at Steeltown. Out near the 30. That'll be a first down, but only 7 seconds taken off the clock.
I love Val St. Germain down there banging away. Chris Schultz will love to see that Val St. Germain cruising 10 yards down the field from the offensive line. They're not supposed to run that far. Schultz used to run that far, but most of them aren't supposed to.
2nd and 10 Edmonton. Check that 1st and 10 Edmonton. Nora did get sufficient yardage there. Another nice hold for Nora. He's got 5 more out to the 35 with 10 seconds on the clock.
See, that time Val St. Germain got down there and they didn't know what to do. See, and this is the problem with offensive linemen running around too much. You know, they don't need to run a whole lot. Because Val St. Germain on the first play got down there. Here he is right here. He's going to go down here, and then he stands here and says, I don't know what to do now. Watch him. He goes down the field. He's kind of standing around going, well, now what? He's up there, and he's just kind of standing there going, okay. He got the stats on who made the tackle. I'll give him that.
This should be the last play of the opening half. Zeros are on the clock, and the Eskimos are happy to end it. Philbrick in the midst of things down there, number 77 against Nora of the Eskimos. Nothing will come of this, however, as both teams head to the dressing room for a long drink of water. It was 29 degrees at kickoff time, and it's very muggy in Hamilton tonight.
Here are the halftime numbers brought to you by Dodge. And Edmonton really started padding their stats in the second quarter where they dominated the football game. They're only up by 3, but they got to be happy with that at the half. John Liu spoke with Edmonton head coach Tom Higgins.
Well, Coach, you're facing a very tough run defense, but you've had great success. Can you just talk a little bit about your game plan?
Well, we always felt that we had to try to establish a run game. So anytime you can do that, then you have a chance of moving the ball. 2 tough teams playing each other, and, you know, I guess the score indicates that.
Nealon Green is showing a little bit more of the form that you'd expect of him. Can we expect to see him for the better part of the next half?
Absolutely. There's always a tendency that we were going to continue to use a second quarterback, but right now we felt that we wanted to give him as many reps as we possibly could. We thought some of the not moving the football is not necessarily based on the quarterback, so we let him have the whole half.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Now, you've heard John Wells and Glenn Suter talk about the weather.
Yeah.
It is hot. Anybody who lives in southern Ontario
It's hot in
knows
here.
it's hot in here. Actually, it's cooler in here under the lights than it is outside right now. And this is obviously definitely going to be a factor.
You know, it really is. I mean, the weather in a football game, whether it's cold or whether it's excessively hot, really does dictate one thing: the quality of the depth on your football team, in particular on a night where the humidity's high. One of the most exhausting positions is defensive line. I mean, you know what it's like? It's like you're pushing a refrigerator that fights back, and that being offensive linemen. And I know that joke we all eat a lot, but some of them are literally as big as refrigerators. And I think the team that has quality depth, that can rotate the pass rush and can keep those guys at a high energy level, in the end, that's the team that'll win.
Well, Chris, I look at what Edmonton is doing in the second quarter, and what they're doing is making plays. Whereas last week in the second quarter against Montreal, 6 straight second down situations they couldn't convert. Nobody stepped up and made a play. Well, tonight it's a different story in the second quarter. They converted on all their second and down situations, and this makes a big difference when they can establish the line of scrimmage, establish dominance up front, get Nora involved, get Daniels involved. Now Nealon's better able to use his wheels. This opens up everything offensively. Defense is off the field. They're more well-rested to fly around, put pressure on Danny McManus. It all comes together for him, Eric.
Yeah, it was a great quarter from the Edmonton Eskimos, no question about that. Now, if you're the Hamilton Tiger Cats, what do you have to do? First of all, catch the football. This is professional football. Help your quarterback. We had 3 or 4 drops in critical situations in the first half that really changed the complexion of this game. They've got to do that. Secondly, I think they've got to go back and run the football effectively. The thing that jumped out to me on the stat sheet, 30 yards rushing in the first half by the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Ron Lancaster said going into this season, the thing they wanted to do was run the football when they had to. Well, they have to and they need to. If they're going to get back in this game, they're going to have to control the line of scrimmage just like Edmonton did in that first half.
It has been a nightmare for the Hamilton Tiger Cats receiving corps. In particular, the veteran Canadian slot, Mike Morreale, 3 drops in the first half.
Friends of reserve Eskimo offensive lineman Tim Baker in the stands, number 50 here tonight. Here's John Liu with the Ticats head coach.
Well, Coach, would you say missed opportunities was the story of the first half for your team?
That was early in a football game, but what we've done, we're letting them establish the run on the line of scrimmage, and they're beating us up front. They're running over us, and we can't establish nothing on offense. We got to switch it around this half, or we'll have a problem. But if we get it going, we'll be all right.
Does that mean we're going to see more of Ron Williams in the run to try to get points on the board for him?
I don't know about whether we'll see more of Ron Williams, but we haven't established anything yet on offense. But they're just kicking our rear end.
Good luck in the second half, Coach. Thank you.
Caster's never out of this, is he? He's right in the middle of everything, kicking our rear end. Errors early.
Yeah, 3 big drops from the Hamilton Tiger Cats early. That was Tony Aikens. Mike Morreale for a touchdown in the first quarter. He drops it. Mike Morreale for a first down later in that quarter. Drops it again. And then late in the half, Morreale with 1 more drop. You know, those are missed opportunities. Ron Lancaster mentioned they're kicking our rear end right now.
However, not very badly, Glenn.
Well, absolutely not. And, you know,
it's only 10-7.
There's a lot of football to be played, and they got things straightened around. And, you know, Trevor Shaw is over there on the bench in that Hamilton lineup. He could come on for Mike Morreale if he continues to struggle.
Not to mention, Paul Osbaldiston put one off the crossbar and then was wide on another field goal opportunity, or the score would read a little bit differently. Ticats kick it off. Second half underway. Mobley. Good return for Edmonton. Still standing as he crosses midfield. Senor Mobley inside Hamilton territory, stopped by Jeff Johnson.
Well, you saw the Hamilton Tiger Cats kick off from their own 20. You remember the fight right at the end of the half? Well, Hamilton got the penalty.
Philbrick was involved in that.
It was applied on the kickoff. Osbaldiston kicks from the 20, and the Edmonton Eskimos get it in Hamilton's territory to start the second half.
Pretty nice return by Mobley, though, makes it a little bit better. 30 yards for Mobley, and here are the Eskimos with the lead, with the ball. Inside Ticat territory. Mark Nora. And only a couple there.
Sean Daniels working on Joe Mumford on that last play, and the thing that Nealon Green might go back. Watch Daniels come up on Mumford here and just block him. Mumford's going to be okay with just standing on the line of scrimmage and holding his ground. Now, if he gets tied up like that, Nealon Green may take that football away from Nora and take it to the outside, and just see if Mumford can get outside when he's tied up.
Gain of 1 for Nora. This is 2nd and 9 Edmonton. Green to the near side. He's got Walters all alone. Broke 1 tackle, and he'll have the first down. Rick Walters, 11 receptions for 121 yards so far in 2001.
Well, he had his first touchdown of the season versus the Saskatchewan Roughriders this year, and last week a big punt return of over 60 yards for Rick Walters. So he's starting to make plays, and you know, when you're an Edmonton offensive player, Terry Vaughn is going to draw a lot of coverage. Likely double coverage. If you're a receiver opposite Vaughn, can expect the football.
Herbie to the near side. Walters flanks to the far side of the field. Green looked that way, and then looks for Herbie. Mix-up down there. Herbie got in behind.
It's
briefly.
Such a subtle mix-up, too. Ed Herbie ran what's called a straight post pattern. That's down the field and then run straight across the middle to the post. What Nealon Green threw was what's called a post seam pattern. Straight down the field and more straight down the seam, down the hash mark. And it's a subtle difference, but it's a difference between a completion and an incompletion. It's all about the angle that Ed Herbie came out of his break.
2nd and 10 Eskimos at the Ticat 36. Early moments. Second half. Green looked to escape. And he looked for Herbie, who couldn't hang on. No catch.
Terry Billups, graduate of the XFL, coming up. Had an interception coming into this game, and he makes the play there.
Again, Idris Haroun with a little pressure on Nealon Green. He's had a superb night, 1 sack already, and pressures a couple of times.
After Joe Mumford, he's the quickest defensive lineman they have. That includes Gonzalo Floyd, who's hurt. Ben Huff also out of the lineup.
Haroun finally won a spot on this ball club in the second half of the final preseason game. They decided they really couldn't let him go. Crowley will put it down. Fleming stands back across the 50 and hammers that one through with yards and yards and yards to spare. 3 more for the Eskimos, a 6-point differential from Iverwin and Hamilton. Wendy's CFL Live. Sports Desk follows us here at Iverwin and Hamilton. We'll have highlights from the course.
Well, he didn't get $90 million for his golf swing. Watch this.
A little weak on the follow-through. Elijah Wong signs with the Raptors as well today. Tennis Masters highlights from Montreal and reaction to a sad story in Minnesota. Sports Desk with Duzzy and Dutchie follows us on CFL Live. Ticats down by 6. Trying to get things going again. McManus to the far side. Catch made. Not much yardage for Andrew Grigg.
Well, at this point, Mike Morreale is still in the lineup, so Ron Lancaster is going to stick with him, and you'll see Danny McManus go back to him. He struggled in that first half with 3 big drops, 1 for a touchdown. But to keep his confidence up, the quarterback has to keep him in the game. There's Trevor Shaw wondering if he's going to drop another one, because 1 more and he's likely in the game.
2nd and 7, Tiger Cats. First down. Heck of a throw by McManus. Grant had a little territory down there, but he had to thread the needle through a couple of defenders.
Frederick Lewis was breaking down on the ball and just didn't believe what he saw. He was a defensive back, the extra one on the field. He comes downhill at this one, has the best crack at it, number 25. He just didn't believe that the ball was that close to him, and when he didn't, it allowed Corey Grant to come up with the catch, and it was a tough one with his hands.
17-yard pickup sets the Ticats up in midfield. On the 55, 3 receivers far side. Ronald Williams, decent yardage, close to the 50. He'll have 4, maybe 5 yards.
When we heard Ron Lancaster talking about they're getting their rear ends kicked, that means he went into the locker room at halftime and he discussed things with the offensive and defensive lines, because that's usually where that kind of talk comes from. If you're getting pushed around up front, nothing works. The passing game, the running game, the run and passing game, they don't work if you can't get it done up front.
Might have kicked a few himself while he was in there.
Yeah.
Gain is 4, 2nd and 6. Shotgun, McManus. Williams made the catch, held on. He's short of the first down. Miraculously held onto the ball because Terry Ray was all over him as he made it.
Well, again, 2 good football players battling, and it's been that kind of game. Out of the games we've done this year, this has been one of the most hardest hitting contests we've been in. And here's Terry Ray flying to the football to your right. Watch the helmet he puts on right there. And Ron Williams, if he doesn't trip on him, actually keeps his balance, absorbs the hit, and would have gotten the first down had he not tripped over Terry Ray.
Well, here go the Tiger Cats. 3rd and a long 2.
Whoa, baby. Early
gambling here, I'd say. Hamilton down by 6. Gambling here. McManus won't get it away. Sacked and wrapped up. 2nd sack allowed by the Tiger Cats, and Fred Perry is there.
Fred Perry is not fooled. Danny McManus wanted to fake it to Ron Williams and try and throw it. Mike Philbrick is the tight end, and he's going to run a pattern, and Perry goes right past Philbrick to get the sack. Philbrick takes off. They try to fool him, and Fred Perry is not fooled. He takes off, and he is right in the backfield. McManus can't even load the gun, let alone shoot it.
Yeah, I don't think he set it up real well. McManus looked a little awkward here. Look.
Well, he really didn't sell the fake.
No, he didn't sell the fake.
I don't think he had much time to. Fred Perry was right there.
So the Eskimos on the turnover are set up inside the Hamilton zone.
There's
Nealon sprinting, firing for Vaughn, and he made the catch, Terry Vaughn.
We talked about it in the first half. Joe Mumford working one-on-one on the edge was just kind of hanging on the line of scrimmage, and I said that watch for Nealon Green to try and get outside. Well, on this play, that's exactly what he does, and Mumford can't get out of the mix and get to the sideline to cut off Nealon Green. Watch Joe Mumford here. He steps up the field at this side. Nealon Green gets outside him. See him get outside?
Mark Nora on first down after Vaughn's 20-yard gain. Only a couple of yards. Chris Schelling made the tackle there.
And you got to give full credit there to Sean Daniels, who's starting to get a little bit of an offensive series, a little bit of Mark Nora up inside, and then have Nealon Green test the edge, test the corner. Sean Daniels has been holding up Joe Mumford, and that's saying something, because not many can hold up Joe Mumford.
Saying something indeed. Only a 2-yard gain, 2nd and 8 Edmonton. Green bobbled it. And he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. So the Ticats will give up at the most 3.
You know, this is what they say the downside of running the shotgun. The upside is you already got yourself about 5 yards back there, but the downside is you better be on the same page with your center, because you got to look at the defense. Nealon Green is looking at the defense. He's trying to figure out where he's going to go with the football, and the ball comes back there and hits him in the stomach.
So Fleming comes in. Good from 26 and 43 so far tonight.
Well, he's hot. I mean, he came into this game with 7 straight field goals to his credit. He's 2 for 2 tonight. So that's 9 in a row for Sean Fleming, and guess what I just did?
No, I think you've jinxed him now.
I jinxed him.
I don't think he's got a shot. It's from 38 yards, definitely within range. Play down there on the 30-yard line for a Ticat injury. It's Wendy's CFL Live. The Eskimos threatening to add to their lead. Hot night in Hamilton. Here's Jason Lamar being helped out.
You see the way he's limping there. He can't bend his right leg, and it looks to me like that's a cramp. And we talked about how humid it is and how important to get those fluids back in your system. And Jason Lamar just can't drink enough water. He is cramped right up and on the sideline right now for Hamilton. He's the first casualty of this humidity.
Eskimos have a 13-7 lead. Fleming will have it spotted at the 38. Chance to go 3 for 3 tonight. And Crowley holds. Fleming hammers it wide. Had lots on it, but it goes for a long single, and that's all. So the Ticats on that ill-advised third down gamble with 2 yards to go only give up a point. And it's a 7-point ball game.
And we talked a little bit about their struggles offensively with a couple of drops, but give credit to the Edmonton defense. I mean, Terry Ray, talk about being hot and humid. He's in there taking on guards on running plays when Ron Williams got the ball, and he's running all the way down the field with some of the fastest receivers Hamilton has.
So you jinxed Mr. Fleming.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Kickers are not going to want me to talk about them ever. Because as soon as they get on a roll, or right when they have a record in their mind, I jinx them.
9 in a row. Suter mentioned it. He shanks it wide. Well, hammered it wide, actually. First down, Ticats. And that time McManus underthrew his receiver. Looking for Tony Akins.
You know, the spread offense for Hamilton really plays into this Edmonton defense a little bit, because 2 of their linebackers are the Terry Ray type of guys. I'm talking about Terry Ray and Singor Mobley. Mobley, second on his team in tackles coming into this game. He can also run with receivers. So when they spread them out, the Edmonton Eskimos don't have to make substitutions.
2nd and 10, Ticats. McManus looking for Grant. Couldn't turn around and get it. There was some contact down there on the coverage with Perry Carter, but no penalty marker down.
Well, you know,
I don't think there should have been, really. I just mean
no.
They got tangled up with each other.
They did, and it was a little push off at the end by Corey Grant. Very tough catch, a little bit outside, and we won't call that one a drop. That won't go in the drop category.
McManus coming into the game hitting on 63% of his, and he'll drop well below that tonight. Osbaldiston, good kick. Donnie Ashley. Eskimos have had some decent returns. Out to the 40, about the 41-yard line. Football this week on Sunday at noon with Randorf and Schultz. Where are you? You're not there.
I'm going to be on the road, going to a buddy's wedding.
Oh, this is
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin
out in Halifax. Congratulations to him. So I'm handing the ball off.
You're the best man there?
I'll be the best man. I'm handing it off to Dave Randorf.
And Martin's going to show up for the wedding?
Yeah.
He'll be there?
A little nervous, but I think he'll be there.
Okay. Nora looked to be stopped and found a few. His running has really been the difference for the Eskimos since Edmonton got into the end zone and took the lead for the first time. Just 3 for Nora there.
No, we talked to Tom Higgins about why Mark Nora is playing much better this year, and it's twofold. One is he's got the confidence now because they've made him the feature back. Number 2, Tom Higgins said, is that he's in much better shape this year physically.
Eskimos have averaged 114 rushing yards a game so far this season. They're at 112 tonight. Elon looks long. And he had him. And Herbie made the catch.
Well, I'm going to give the assist on this huge play for the Edmonton Eskimos to Sean Daniels. Now, he did get a little bit of help to the right. Look at the right of your screen, number 34, Sean Daniels, holding his own with Joe Mumford. And that ball is up in the air because Mumford can't get to the quarterback. Ed Hervey with a tremendous catch. Look at this. This is Daniels right here. And all game long, he's been in this one-on-one battle. Yeah, he's been on his heels, but he's holding his own against the best pass rusher in the CFL. Give the assist to Sean Daniels.
A 50-yard gain for the Eskimos as Nealon Green hooks up with Ed Hervey and sets the Eskimos up inside the 20-yard line at about the 17. Mark Nora.
Balance. Continue to have balance in your offense. Boy, Sean Daniels, and you know, this is a veteran. Daniels is a veteran in this lineup. In fact, he was out there talking with Terry Vaughn when I was out there talking with both of them. And I had my Grey Cup ring from 1989. Sean Daniels was on that team in Saskatchewan, and he says, you know, I don't wear the ring anymore because it says how old I am.
Second and 8. Eskimos at the Ticat 18. Green to the end zone. No one home. So it could be a lot worse for the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The big plays they've given up, the miscues, the drops, and all of that. And they're only facing 3 points here. It could have been much more after the big 50-yard gain.
Pitcher tells 1,000 words, doesn't it? I mean, there was 2 receivers, Terry Vaughn and Ricky Walters over there, and Nealon Green, no question where he's throwing the football. He's throwing it deep into the end zone. Terry Vaughn and Ricky Walters both ran quick outs at about 5 yards. But look at that. That tells the story right there.
Sean Fleming had connected on 9 of 9 until Suter mentioned that, and he shanked the last one. This is a little bit closer. He'll make this one from 21. Crowley has it down. Fleming hammers it through. Dead center.
Sorry, Sean. I'll just keep her shut up here from now on when it comes to kickers.
Eskimos by 10 in Hamilton.
Play $1 million touchdown to win at Safeway. If your name appears, you've won.
Back at Ivor Wynn, Tiger Cats had a good start. They haven't scored a point in the last 35 minutes. Here's John Liu.
Well, John, as you might suspect, or as you have suspected, the heat and humidity is taking its toll on the players. Spoke to the Tiger Cats equipment manager, and he tells me they fill up twice. Once before the game, once at the half. Tonight, they filled up twice during the first half, so the Tiger Cats are on pace to consume almost double their usual water intake.
It's cooling down nicely, down near 28.
Yeah, those Gatorade jugs are talking about that's what they're filling up, and they filled it up twice as many times as they normally do, and I'll tell you what, those are big jugs.
Ronald Williams for 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. 4:13 till 3/4 time in Hamilton. It's Williams again. He'll have the first down up to the 50.
Those are 40-gallon babies, those things. You gotta drink a lot of water, though, and it just doesn't start during the game. You have to make sure you drink a lot of water before the game as well, and the night before. So, you know, you gotta hope that the players are taking care of themselves, making sure that they're getting all the fluids they need the day before. And then when they show up, they gotta keep drinking it when they're on the sideline. So they gotta refill up the big jugs.
I'm not even looking at you. From the 50, first down, Tiger Cats. Here's Akins. Chance to make more after the reception within a yard. Torrey Hunter with the tackle.
I always talk about the quarterback having an imaginary clock in his head, knowing when the rush is going to get to him. Well, when a receiver catches that little hitch screen, he has the same clock going off because he knows he can make 2 or 3 moves. If he makes the 4th or 5th, there's going to be help coming from that defense. Basically, you got to commit and get upfield.
Second down, 1 yard to go. Ronald Williams has it easily. The first down for the Tiger Cats inside the Eskimo 45. So a little life in the stands and in these Tiger Cats.
Well, yeah, they're starting to get things going a little bit offensively, and I still think, you know, a lot of credit has to go to this Edmonton defense. A defense that came into the game giving up in 4 games 10 plays over 25 yards. They've been a little bit suspect against the big play. They've made a couple of adjustments up front because of injuries, but they're playing well tonight. And it starts in their linebacking core with Mobley and Ray.
From the 44, first down, Hamilton on the money. Down to the 31. Garrett was covering on Darren Flutie, who made the catch.
Darren Flutie didn't quit. He got it on second effort. Shannon Garrett jammed Flutie right when he went to make his cut. Watch Flutie get up the field, and right when Flutie wants to turn around, Garrett gets his hands in his face. That slows him down, but Flutie won't quit. Comes around on the curl, keeps battling for the football, comes back a little bit and hangs on.
He rarely misses. Number 82, Darren Flutie. Ronald Williams lost the ball. Eskimos have a good chance at it. Ray had an opportunity, and I think Edmonton comes up with a loose ball. Sheldon Benoit. Whether Doug Peterson, number 94, looks to have come up with the ball.
Yeah, it was a mad scramble. Peterson was there. Terry Ray dove over the pile. You know, Ron Williams had some second effort to hurdle the first tackler, but then he lost the handle. And again, you wonder about the weather and how slick is that ball. That's a pretty good hurdle right there, but here comes the ball. Perry strips it out of there. Terry Ray has a shot of it. He misses, and I believe it was Doug Peterson that ends up falling on it.
So that drive snuffed out by the Eskimos. Ticats have turned it over twice. Once on downs. First and 10, Edmonton. Eskimo 26. Mark Nora hammered to the turf. Chris Schelling got to Nora that time.
Well, you know, I thought coming in that their offense for Edmonton would be their best defense, keeping McManus off the field. But having watched this game so far, Terry Ray, Singor, Mobley, the guys on defense have really responded. You know, after a big loss where they gave up a ton of yards along the ground, 227 versus Montreal a week ago, they showed up to play tonight.
So it's 2nd and 7. Green with time to throw. He's hammered, but got it away. Hervey on the far side made the catch. It'll be an Edmonton first down.
Well, Montford is getting tired of being blocked. And he, you know that you can't keep him contained forever. It's going to be beaten here, and Montford just straight ahead rush. Watch the determination. Little move. Val St. Germain has a chance at him, and Montford very, very close to a late hit. Doesn't get the flag, but it's a matchup we've been watching. Bruce Beaton's had his turns, and so is Sean Daniels, the fullback.
Fourth catch for Ed Hervey. That was for 15. He has 110 yards so far. Shotgun for Green. Faked it to Nora. And looked for Terry Ray. Missed him down the near side.
Well, here again is the great offensive series. Even though, you know, it doesn't work perfectly. Watch this, though. Here's Montford coming up in here. He's thinking run to Nora. The success of Nora influences the defensive lineman. Montford's up in there thinking run Nora. Nora doesn't have the football. It's outside to Nealon Green. Now, it doesn't work perfectly at the end of the play, but they've got Montford influenced. And if you can do that, you are really attacking the strength of this Hamilton defense.
Last play of the third quarter. Nealon Green throws back the other way, and a drop for the Eskimos for the first time that I can recall tonight.
Well, it would have been an interesting one-on-one matchup if he did catch the ball between Chris Schelling, who was flying over there to make the tackle, and Mark Nora, had he caught that ball.
So does the Eskimos on top by 10. An Ivor win in Hamilton tonight.
Wendy's, CFL live at the quarter.
Yes, John Wells, the Edmonton Eskimos up 17-7 and looking pretty darn good. Coming into this ball game, the Hamilton Tiger Cats had 3 turnovers in the entire season. Chris Schultz, they turned it over twice tonight.
I know, surprising, isn't it? But this was the key play of the game. I mean, we've been kissing up pretty good to Ron Williams, but you got to be able to block and you got to be able to hang on to the football. Watch this, the right tight end, Mike Philbrick, and that's the tailback right there in Ron Williams. Now, as Philbrick leaves the play to go out in the pattern, That guy right there, Fred Perry, that is Ron Williams' man. His technique was poor. His head was looking down at the turf. And you have to take a guy from the inside shoulder towards the out when your quarterback is in a 5 or 7 step drop. Ron Williams is a pretty good football player running the ball, but boy, he's got to hang on to it better. And if he ever wants to be a complete back, he's got to learn to block. In the CFL, you can motion right up to the line of scrimmage. He should have taken advantage of that, Eric.
Good point, Chris. You know, and win, lose, or draw, I think you have to give tremendous credit to the Edmonton Eskimos. They came into this game tonight as a banged-up football team, playing in one of the toughest places in the league to play either win. Yet they played quality football. They're up by 10 points as we go into the fourth quarter. If they win tonight, they're in great position because the next 2 weeks they go against BC back-to-back, and they really have a chance to create some separation in the West, Matt.
Well, I'm looking at a big-time player for the Edmonton Eskimos playing his way out of the doghouse, and that's Ed Hervey. He's coming up big with some key catches, and it's all been set up by the offensive line in the second quarter, establishing line of scrimmage. Everything flows from that. Once that's done, your offense can open up, and now we see Nealon Green going over the top to Ed Hervey, and he's having a one heck of a day against that Hamilton secondary.
2 weeks ago, he had a heck of a day as well with 170 yards receiving against Calgary. And with Kes McCorvey, you're right, it's huge. Back to Hamilton for the fourth quarter. Guys?
Well, we're ready for the fourth. A little surprised at the Tiger Cats' problems tonight because they have been able to move the ball, but then they have shot themselves in the foot more than once.
Well, when we watched that Toronto game last week, that's why we said that's why they play the games, because you never know. And we thought McManus would have the big game tonight. We thought we may see Jason Moss. Nealon Green has played well enough to give his team a 10-point lead, and he's still in this football game.
And a pretty good bet that he'll finish it for the Eskimos, leading by 10 as we head to the final 15 minutes. Flags go down as the Eskimos were in punt formation and decided something was amiss down there with a short of body.
Procedure, Edmonton, number 80, still third down.
Well, not all that costly. They'll just move it back, and I mean Fleming will have to kick from 5 yards further back.
I don't think Fleming liked the formation he had lined up, so take the 5-yard penalty, get him straight, see him peek to the rushers.
Fleming had a 10-yarder tonight. Good punt. It's Aikens at the 30. Ticats have struggled a little bit all season long with their returns on special teams. That was one of the concerns Lancaster was talking about yesterday.
Yeah, after 3 quarters, the Hamilton Tiger Cats would have a lot more yards passing had not been for a few drops, and I like this one right here because that guy has been the difference.
Well, he was almost solely responsible for the touchdown, wasn't he? In that drive. I mean, his yards in that drive carried the Eskimos all the way into the end zone.
Full credit to this defense.
So here's Danny McManus, good on 11 of 26, 146 yards.
Well, you know one thing, it won't phase him.
Another drop, Aikens second of the night. Oh my. 5 drop passes, 1 in the end zone.
You know, and this is frustrating for coaches. You draw up the play, you get the perfect situation, you get the formation you want, the defense you want, the play is called properly, and then you throw in the human element. And the human element tonight for the Ticats and their receiving corps has been average at best.
And still lots of time to go for Hamilton's second down.
Oh, what a throw.
Right on the money to Andrew Gregg.
Oh, what a throw by Danny McManus. I mean, Danny McManus had to put this one over Ralph Staten. Here comes the out right over here, but watch the throw at the end of the play. Ralph Staten's underneath in the coverage. There he is right there. That ball has to go over his head and in front of Perry Carter, number 18. The ball is put right on the money. Andrew Gregg couldn't do anything but catch that one.
19 yards to gain for the Tiger Cats. From the 53, first down, Hamilton. Here's Ronald Williams. No flags, so no foul. Terry Ray was covering.
Ron Williams,
who's incensed.
He wants the penalty on Terry Ray because he doesn't think Terry Ray looked back to the football. Ron Williams came out of the backfield and ran what's called an out and up or a wheel pattern to the sideline. Ray was in coverage, man to man, down the side to the right of your screen up here. Now they're going to be fighting down the field. Now, did Terry Ray look back to the football when he put his arms up? The answer is no, and that's called screening. It's not pass interference, it's screening, and it's a definite penalty that was missed by the officials. Ron Williams had an argument.
2nd and 10. Here comes some heat on McManus.
Oh!
Akins makes the catch. A chance for the end zone. Lost the ball. And it's recovered by the Eskimos at the 5.
Oh, baby. Unbelievable.
Terry Ray got back to strip that.
Missed.
Akins made a great catch.
Well, he did, because Chris Hardy was about ready to hit him, and he kind of missed him over top. Number 8's in the middle of your screen, just to the left there. Watch him come up, and he just missed him. He tries to throw his elbow in there. Akins, with great courage, hangs onto it, and then Terry Ray, tremendous hustle, strips that football out. That's why, if you're a young football player, watch this up at the top here. You're a young football player, watch number 28, Terry Ray. He doesn't give up. He sees it happen. He keeps hustling, and something good happens out of good hustle. That's Terry Ray knocking the ball out of there. And Danny McManus can't believe it. I mean, you know, anything bad that's going to happen is going to happen tonight, it looks like. He's going, oh my goodness.
Shannon Garrett recovered at the Eskimo 5. Nealon Green, nice fake, comes to the near side for Herbie. He was almost out of bounds when he caught it. Green good on 10 of 18.
They've had guys open. They've had the right play called. But this is going to hurt you.
2 fumbles. 5 drop passes.
That's going to hurt you.
And 1 lost on downs.
You know what? You can only write them up on the paper. You can't execute them.
2nd down. They'll need at least 3 from Nora. I'm not sure they've got it. We'll see where they spot the ball. Well, Nealon Green says we've got the 1st down.
Anything to try and influence the officials a little bit. Good game plan from Tom Higgins, especially defensively. You know, they've really put together a nice package against an offense that was hot in Hamilton, an offense that was showing great balance in the running game and passing game in 4 weeks so far this season. Tom Higgins' defensive coaching staff came up with a nice game plan tonight.
Eskimos are leading the league in takeaways with 15 as a result of tonight. They have another 1st down. Green thought run immediately. Philbrick is there for 1 among the Tiger Cats, and the middle linebacker Lamar from underneath.
You know, when you take the Nealon Green situation just one step further, with 2 good quarterbacks backing you up in Dan Crowley and Jason Moss, Nealon Green can be told by the coaching staff to run more. You know, if he's your only quarterback, you're afraid that you may lose him to injury, so you want to be cautious with him running. But with 2 capable backups on the sideline, you tell Nealon Green, hey, your game is to run. And he's run a lot of quarterback draws here tonight.
2nd and 5.
Oh,
Green got it away to Terry Vaughn. Vaughn got away from 1 tackle, has a chance, needs 1 block. May run out of gas, still going as he crossed the 35 and down at the 45 and down at the 43. Here's Brandon Hamilton to make the tackle.
John, the play is made by Nealon Green at the beginning because Don Southern went with the full blitz package. He's going to put everybody on the line of scrimmage and send them all. And when he does, Nealon Green recognizes it and gets the football out of his hands.
Hitchcock missed.
Couple missed tackles in the open field. Terry Vaughn does the rest. But Nealon Green's ability to read that blitz,
another missed tackle,
and get the ball out of his hands is why the play's made. Because look at this. He's going to take a bit of a hit right there from Sean Woodson. He was free and unblocked.
3 missed tackles, and look where the Eskimos are. We're at Iverwin in Hamilton, where some are still cheering for the Tiger Cats. Tomorrow night, McMahon and Calgary for Wendy's Friday Night Football, Argos Stampeders.
You know, I know it's early in the season, but I want to say quick congratulations to 2 quarterbacks that will be starting in that game. One in Jimmy Kemp, he's coming off a great week and a win against Saskatchewan, never be considered a starter. And Marcus Crandall, top-rated passer in the league right now after 4 weeks.
They'll go toe-to-toe tomorrow night in Calgary. After a 52-yard gain, Nealon Green looks for more points. The end zone toss, not quite on the money for Herbie. Brandon Hamilton was covering.
Watch Sean Daniels. I mean, here's what you say to Sean Daniels at the beginning of the game. You say, okay, your job, Mr. Daniels, is to stop 53 Joe Mumford during the game. And he gives you the old double take look. You know, that look where you look and then you cut. Joe who? Joe, that's Mr. Mumford. He has done an unbelievable job against Joe Mumford today.
Second and 10. Green can't find the target.
Look at the time.
May have a little running room to the far side. He'll get very close to the first down. Might have it, in fact. That's what the Ticats were worried about. They wanted to force Nealon Green into passing more.
Well, this time it was Chris Morris on Mumford, and Sean Daniels had gone to the opposite side on Idris Haroun. But either way you look at it, great time for Nealon Green to throw the football. They're going to measure this one to see if it's... There you go.
It's enough for another Eskimo first down.
Let's take a look at this play in regular speed. How long does Nealon have to throw? 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000, 6 1,000. There's a whole bunch of tired defensive backs in the Hamilton secondary.
And they're getting more weary by the moment.
Their tongues are dragging on the turf right now, I guarantee you that.
Coming into this game, the Eskimos rushed for, on average, 113 yards. Tonight, they have 134 between Nealon Green and Mark Nora. And here's Nora again. He hangs on to the ball at the 25.
And in the humid conditions, the time of possession is that much more important. And these long drives by Nora in this offense are wearing down the Hamilton D.
Ticats, when you looked at this defense and the way the numbers stacked up, second against the rush at 91 yards per game. And obviously they're having trouble stopping these Eskimos here at home tonight. It's hot and sticky at Ivor Wynn, and there's another timeout on the field. Cooling off nicely in Hamilton tonight, down to about 27.
At what time that needle was right there. Now that needle has gone up to here. So any chance just to draw a color, huh?
Yeah. Well, that's not counting the humidex.
Yeah,
it's feeling a little warmer than 27 right now. Nealon Green on 2nd and 8. Vaughn goes, or rather Walters brings it down. Rick Walters, number 13.
Well,
he'll be short of the first down.
I know it's early in week 5, but I have a nominee for offensive player of the week, and my nominee is Sean Daniels, because watch what he does again with Joe Mumford. I mean, this is one step here. This is the best pass rusher in the game. Stick with them, get a little help from Nora, but stick with them. Good feet, good hands. He has slowed down Joe Mumford all night long.
He'll be 3rd down, less than a yard to go for the Eskimos. I'm sure they'll think about going for this.
You know, and most of the teams in this league, well, in any league playing Joe Mumford, would take an offensive tackle and a fullback and block Mumford with 2 guys. Not just leave Joe Mumford one-on-one with your fullback. That's a matchup that Hamilton has just flourished under with this defense, and Joe Mumford going one-on-one with fullbacks. But Daniels is doing his job tonight.
Eskimos going on 3rd and inches. The Tiger Cat 18, no problem. Nora down to the 5. Mark Nora.
And the boys up front are getting tired on Hamilton's defense.
Tonight's game story is brought to you by SportCheck.ca, Canada's choice for sporting goods.
Well, Fleming's got some points, but, you know, I mean, you also could put Mark Nora, Mark Nora, Mark Nora, Mark Nora. But those Ticat turnovers have been a factor, and I'm going to add one in there. a name that I've been talking about a little bit in this fourth quarter. That's Sean Daniels as a key in this game for the Edmonton offense.
Well, this could be the ball game here tonight. I know there's lots of time to go, but if the Eskimos punch this into the end zone in this heat, and Daniels has the touchdown.
Good for him.
Your guy.
Well, and he deserves it. He deserves it. Sean Daniels, coming in this game, had touched the ball 4 times in 4 games. And tonight it didn't look like he was going to get it either, but he had done a number on Joe Mumford, and that's a little payday for him. Nice touchdown, and of course you're going to have the big smile.
From 5 yards out, Sean Daniels into the end zone to make it 23-7 for the Eskimos.
That's
and
great.
I thought they were in tough here tonight. I really did. I believe that to be the case, particularly with the nice start that the Tiger Cats got in the very early going first possession, but then the drops. Fleming adds one more. Elon Green has done a nice job. Sean Daniels blocked most of the nights and then scores 6 right there. Back at Ivor Wynn, Ticats in tough. Sports Desk follows us with Dashi and Dusty.
Cue the music. See that Sports Desk music? That's the music that has girlfriends and wives heading to bed and guys ready to tune in to TV.
Well, Aikens had the Tiger Cats in pretty good shape until he lost the handle on the ball. And look what the Eskimos did. After recovering the fumble, they marched all the way for the touchdown.
See Tony Aikens there wiping the sweat off of his gloves.
Chance here for Troy Davis. Well, decent field position, but a lot to overcome for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, trailing 24-7.
Well, here's the TD, and it's a little thanks very much for the hard work for Sean Daniels. You see, Joe Mumford was stepping up, getting ready to take on the block from Daniels, and he actually had the football. What a drive by the Edmonton Eskimos. And when you go 10 for 105, that Hamilton defense is tired.
Now the Ticats with 7:06 to play have to recover and score 17 points. Sounds like a tall order in this heat. However, you start it 1 touchdown at a time. McManus has Aikens. He's to midfield. Tony Aikens.
And they're trying to secure the football a little bit more now after that catch. Tony Aikens got both hands over it. We saw him on the sideline wiping the sweat off of his gloves. And you know you're sweating when it's going right through the leather on your gloves.
Ticats have not scored a touchdown since the 3rd quarter last week against Winnipeg. McManus. They'll count it a catch on the far side. Andrew Grigg.
You know, and maybe we shouldn't be too general with these Hamilton receivers because Grigg has had a pretty good night. Darren Flutie hasn't dropped one thrown his way.
No, the area of concern has been Aikens and Morreale.
That's a great catch on the sideline.
No catch.
All right. They're actually marking it. He looked like he lost the handle, but they're marking it.
Calling it a catch.
Yeah, they're marking it that he hung on to it. Trevor Shaw still hasn't gotten the game. Morreale lost that one too, but not until after he was tackled.
2nd and 5. McManus pumps once. Flags are down. This could be holding against the Cats. McManus has Mace Freeman, and he was hammered by Staten.
Mace Freeman had just enough time to gather himself. A split second earlier.
Holding Hamilton, number 68. 2nd down, repeated.
If Mace Freeman doesn't see this coming, just a split second is all it takes. 1/1000. See how he gathered himself and braced himself for the hit from Staten? That happens a split second earlier, and we will see Trevor Shaw. for a different reason.
So this will be 2nd and 14 for the Tiger Cats now. Just over 5 minutes to go. 17 points to make up for Hamilton. McManus missed Grigg.
Where they are at this point at the season, or excuse me, in this game, even though it is 3rd and long, it's gamble time. You're 3 down, football, 5 minutes left. Ron Lancaster will leave the offense on the field. Darren Flutie and Ralph Staten.
On 3rd down and 14, McManus flushed out of the pocket, stands in and fires. No catch at the 15. It was a little low, and Morreale was the target. So there you go. Tough night for the Ticats on home turf. Unbeaten until this evening. They've turned it over too many times.
Well, they'll go and watch the film. They'll go and watch the tape on this one, and Ron Lancaster won't be happy. The coaching staff will be up and down a few players, but they're going to say at the end of the day that the game plan was there, the opportunities were there, and we didn't do the little things. We didn't hang on to the football.
Well, Morreale in the end zone very early. Aikens down at the 5-yard line with an opportunity to get within 10 points. But it's been Nealon's night after a slow start, and Nora is met by Lamar in the backfield and fired back Jason Lamar.
Well, it is a good defense, and full credit to Edmonton and their game plan, but this Hamilton defense will bounce back. Chris Schelling's having a great start. They'll be back.
Next home game for the Tiger Cats against Winnipeg, August 16th. It was good the last time those two teams met, so there's the number to call. 1-800-714-ROAR. Second and 16, Eskimos. Ricky Walters made the catch. Ticats all around. Going nowhere. So the Eskimos will kick it away.
And you could say it was just the humidity and the fact that the Hamilton Tiger Cats, maybe that ball was a little slick, but the Edmonton Eskimos haven't had too many problems dropping the football tonight. Ricky Walters with a couple catches. Terry Vaughn, a couple big plays to get back into things offensively for Edmonton. But I think, we talked about Nealon Green coming in and how Jason Moss would probably play. That was the game plan from Tom Higgins, but Nealon Green changed his mind. Changed his mind with a solid performance.
Aikens is deep for this Fleming punt, standing at his 25. Road trip continues for the Eskimos on Saturday, a week Saturday, in Vancouver against the BC Lions. Fleming, a good kick. Aikens stopped at the 32. Now it doesn't get any easier for the Tiger Cats because next Friday night, Hamilton takes on Montreal, and that'll be at the Alouettes home stadium, McGill. Less than 3 to go. Ticats are all but wrapped up by the Edmonton Eskimos.
Okay.
Back in Hamilton, another look at the SportCheck.ca game story.
Edmonton really controlling the ground game. Sean Daniels, great job tonight against Joe Montfort. And he also got his first touchdown. Turnovers hurt Hamilton, no question. A couple big plays from the big play guys in the receiving court. Terry Vaughn, Ed Hervey not had a problem catching the ball tonight.
Ticats down by 17. Mace Freeman has got everything thrown his way. He's got great speed, very quick guy. Singor Mobley made the tackle, along with A.J. Gass, the Eskimos' middle linebacker. Very impressive for the Eskimos to come in here and play this well after getting hammered by the Alouettes last week. Akins hangs on, but he's short of a first down.
Yeah, well, you know what? Maybe the most important thing for a football team throughout the course of a season is not necessarily, you know, each individual game. Obviously, you want to win each game you play, but it's how you react with the good and the bad. You know, when you're winning, you got to keep things on an even keel. You can't get too overly excited. It's a long season. When you have a tough game like Edmonton did against Montreal, you got to bounce back, and they did that with a good game plan and a solid effort in a tough night on the road. This is a team that hasn't won on the road all year in Edmonton. Into Ivor win.
Oh no, they haven't won. They haven't won at Montreal or BC.
That's right.
Been to BC.
They haven't won on the road all year.
2 wins were at home, on home turf.
That's right.
It's Calgary.
Well, tonight we thought for Edmonton to win, they'd have to sustain some drives. Guess what? They did that. 105-yarder.
That was the biggie.
Keep McManus off the field. The Ticat defense kind of declawed tonight. They looked a little tired in the fourth quarter.
Well, they were out there a long time. You know,
no question. We talked about Ivor Wynn and how tough it is to come in here and win a game, especially when you haven't won on the road, and the Edmonton Eskimos got that done tonight. And that winning streak for the Ticats comes to an end here at Ivor Wynn Stadium. So,
well, the Tiger Cats do get a first down on that particular gamble.
Great night for Sean Daniels. My candidate.
No one home.
Yeah, now here's the question, though. Do you make Sean Daniels the offensive player of the week or the lineman of the week? Because he just got the one touchdown.
Well, 7
running
points.
the ball.
Yeah.
But he's been blocking all night long and doing it against Joe Mumford.
Look at that football bleeding right through his jersey there.
And he's not a young man. We talked about him being one of the elder statesmen on that Edmonton roster.
Well, if he played for you, or if he played with you,
yeah,
he's up there.
He's up there.
Mace Freeman makes another catch. 2:08 to go.
Now, you know, I'm promoting him a little bit for one of the player of the weeks, but we got some football to be played yet. So,
well,
in
yes,
Calgary
this
tomorrow
is
night.
game 1.
Yeah.
Well, a night for Daniels to remember, a night for the Ticats to forget. Morelli makes one.
Kind of a sarcastic cheer from the crowd here
Almost,
at Ivor Wynn.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Very sarcastic cheer.
Hometown guy.
Yeah, and Mike,
Canuck in 1998.
Mike Morelli will bounce back. I mean, outstanding Canadian, like you mentioned. He's had great seasons here in Hamilton, and he's had a bad game. And that's, you can't sugarcoat it.
McManus looking for the touchdown to Corey Grant. He's got it. Grant into the end zone. That's a little bit more of the explosiveness we were expecting to see from the Tiger Cats.
Well, get your onside kick team ready.
Well, 1:48 to go, and I obviously had written the Tiger Cats off. I'm not really taking it back, but.
Okay, 1:48, get your onside kick team ready. Good throw to the outside, Corey Grant. They've been trying to run this wheel to a bunch of different players. Ron Williams tried it, he couldn't get there. Perry Carter, I don't believe, thought the ball was arriving. Corey Grant stuck with it and comes up with the catch. Onside kick team, get ready. That's what they're saying on the sideline. That's a lot of the quicker receivers may see Corey Grant back on the field on that team.
Well, it's a 10-point game now, 24-14. So the Ticats must score twice for a tie. It's 2 touchdowns for a win.
Darryl Adralin, special teams coach, one of the best in the game at it. He's got a lot of plans when it comes to onside kick. You can squib it along the ground and hope for a big bounce. Kick it up high in the air and hope that your guy is the last guy to touch it. Because in the CFL, that's all you have to do, be the last person to touch it to gain possession. So he'll send out that team. It all starts with a good kick, though.
Baldiston has his 600th career convert on the only touchdown of the night.
Well, if you can get a good kick out of the kicker, and Osbaldiston, whether he goes along the ground or through the air, wants to kick it right at the 11-yard mark, just past the 10.
Other thoughts on this one? I mean, Osbaldiston put one off the crossbar and put one wide.
Yeah,
so field goals along the way. Missed opportunities. There were others.
The beauty of this game is that there is still a chance, albeit slim, for Hamilton.
Well, 10-point game.
It's like in Dumb and Dumber. So you're saying there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance. Well, there always is in the CFL.
Well, we won't go 1 in a million. It's probably a little bit better than that, but it all starts with a good kick from Paul Osbaldiston here. Going for the lob shot.
Flags everywhere. Hervey seemed to touch it, but it was a procedure call on the kick as Ozzie knocked it out.
Well, it's a very, very difficult kick to execute. I mentioned it has to go exactly 11 yards so that your team has a chance. That one looked like it got a little too deep on Paul Osbaldiston and was kind of high and out of bounds and really didn't give his team a chance to run under it.
Legal kickoff. Hamilton, number 3, first down.
Well, good game by the Edmonton Eskimos. And just before we wrap this one up, I want to say a special hello to my mom and sister Nadine back on Vancouver Island, who've had a real tough month and a half. And special hello to a big CFL fan who's watching from above tonight. Love you, Dad.
The final 1:45, Mark Norup. Jason Lamar made the tackle there.
Real good game from the Edmonton Eskimos. I mean, this game plan was solid. They had Mark Nora involved early in this game. Sean Daniels, tremendous job as his partner in that backfield, and full credit to Nealon Green. There's been a lot of pressure on him all week long to perform.
Edmonton Eskimos already lead the West by 1 point. They'll have a 3-point advantage on Saskatchewan when this one is over tonight, as they keep hammering away. BC and Calgary at the bottom of the heap at 1 and 3. And both teams have games ahead this weekend, which we'll watch on TSN. Toronto at Calgary on Wendy's Friday Night Football tomorrow. And then on Saturday, it's Montreal at BC, as the Alouettes put the only unbeaten record in Canadian football on the line.
Well, Danny McManus going to get the football with 1:21 left. Edmonton
needs 10, Glenn.
You know, and this is what Darryl Ladrolin will do on this play. He'll put everybody on the line of scrimmage, one returner back, and he'll try and see if he can't block a Sean Fleming punt. Maybe create a big play out of the special teams. They never executed the onside kick, and they've been close on a couple of these punts in this game. Clifford Ivory came off the edge and really affected an early punt by Sean Fleming. So everybody up on the line of scrimmage, you see them, they'll be coming.
1:21 unofficially on the score clock here at Ivor Wynn. Flags go down. It'll be contacting the kicker. Loose ball recovered finally by the Tiger Cats at the 15. Fleming is still down.
Well, the only concern for Edmonton is this: Sean Fleming is injured. He got hammered. Clifford Ivory came off the edge. He's been close tonight. He knew he'd be coming hard. He's right there. He's coming off the edge. Fleming gets it away quickly. You see Ivory did not get a piece of the football, so that'll be roughing the kicker. Edmonton will keep the possession of the ball just as long as Sean Fleming's not hurt. Looked like he got up in the air, so he wasn't planted, didn't twist anything, and he walked off on his own.
Next Friday night, Ticats against the Alouettes in Montreal. Next Saturday night, the Eskimos.
No yards, Edmonton. Major foul, roughing the kicker. Hamilton, number 13. First down, Edmonton.
Eskimos will be in Vancouver to take on the BC Lions. That's next Saturday night. So backup quarterback is going to get an opportunity here, Glenn. Jason Moss is into the ball game to run out the final 1 minute and 10 seconds. Long, hot night for both teams in Hamilton.
Are you cramping up? Are you okay?
I'm going to be fine. Need some liquid. We're out of water up here.
A couple of defensive linemen. Tom Hibbs, one of them for the Hamilton Tiger Cats, cramped up in this game. Jason Lamar is back in, but he cramped up. You know, and it's, I guess you could say, a little surprising in that Hamilton practiced here all week. Edmonton kind of showed up and they were okay.
Well, think about it. The Eskimos were in southern Ontario all week and used this field as a practice facility at least a couple of days after coming over from Montreal. You see, they don't have a home right now.
Yeah, well, that's right.
Jason Moss just dropped on it. So they moved here and checked into southern Ontario right after their loss to the Alouettes and have been here all week. So
well, for
Edmonton, likely a good story because this heat is not commonplace on the prairies.
No.
So the Eskimos have weathered the storm, so to speak.
You know what that is a credit to as well as their conditioning. Because if you the better condition you're in, the better you are to be able to handle conditions like this. You're talking about the weather, and obviously they took care of themselves with the fluids the night before the game, and I'm talking about the right fluids. Water.
Well, there'll be a different fluid after this one for the victors, no question.
No question.
Sean Fleming, for some reason, took it on the run and then kicked it fairly deep. Flags are down into the final 14 seconds now of a long night for the Tiger Cats.
Well, he just wanted.
Did he have that as a plan, or did the coverage break down?
I think the plan was to go ahead and try and get outside. If they were coming with an all-out blitz, maybe he can just run and they keep the football and kill the game. But it didn't happen, so he had to take another hit.
Hamilton, number 54, first down.
Very good game from Sean Fleming, other than the one I jinxed him on.
Oh, and the 10-yard shank into row 5.
Well, I didn't jinx him on that, but other than the missed field goal where I jinxed him, he was perfect tonight and came in here on a 7-game field goal streak. So, or excuse me, 7 in a row.
Well, he got it to 9. Then you mentioned his name.
Okay.
That was it.
I'll leave the kickers alone from now on. Yeah, I'll leave the kickers for Chris Schultz. But he doesn't like them. I'll leave him. He can have the kickers.
A little bit of a surprise that the Tiger Cats didn't mount a better challenge to the Eskimos tonight. Here's Mace Freeman, who's got just about everything thrown his way.
Well, him, Andrew Brigg, Darren Flutie, they'll be able to go watch the film and hold their heads high. There'll be other Ticat receivers that have a bit of a rough day tomorrow watching this one. And that's one of them. We've all been there. If you've played, you've had games like that.
Aikens dropped a couple, including one down near the 5-yard line. Held on to that. This should be the final play of the game. Tomorrow we're off to Calgary, McMahon Stadium, to watch the Stampeders and the Argonauts.
After the start, both teams got... We're talking about 2 hot teams all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, they're on win streaks.
They're on winning streaks.
Final play, McManus fires it to the bench. And a bit of a ruckus breaks out down there.
The rivalries continue. I mean, the teams don't like each other. Last week, Toronto, Saskatchewan, there was a big fight at the end of the game. This time it's Doug Peterson and Dave Hack going at it. Look at Peterson. Oh, boy. Let's just get to your respective locker rooms, boys, and call this one a night.
Yeah, that's enough.
Tom Higgins
That's
trying
enough.
to get his guys out of there, and you don't want to see it, but it is frustrating, especially in this heat.
Yeah, I think I just want to get to the dressing room and maybe have a glass of water. Yeah. So Lancaster does not move up one notch among the all-time coaches. Tom Higgins has his third win for the Eskimos on top in the West.
Wendy's CFL Live on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
There's your final from Hamilton, 24-14 Edmonton. One of the things we talked about going into this game was how Edmonton was, quote-unquote, a two-quarterback team. They looked like a one-quarterback team tonight, and that one quarterback is with us right now. Nealon, this has got to feel great after a tough loss last week in Montreal.
Definitely. We had to deal with some adversity, and the thing we had to do was stick together and stay positive. So we just came out here and did some positive things, make some big plays, move the chains, kept that defense on the sideline, and that's the big key for us.
Nealon, Eric Tillman, in the pregame show, we talked about Kes McCorvey's injury and the effect that might have on your offense. Yet Ed Hervey and Terry Vaughn stepped up really big. Between them, 9 catches for 212 yards. You had to be pleased with their contributions.
Definitely, and we know we got a lot of big play receivers, and we got guys that's on the sideline and the practice roster that's waiting for their opportunity, and Donnie stepped in and did a great job, as well as Fred Bailey signed with us this week. So we had a lot of players that's going to make plays for us. We just got to get them all on the field and get Kes healthy. I hope you're watching the game, so we're coming home now.
Nealon, Matt Dunnigan here. Great job. Congratulations. Let me ask you this little personal question here. Beginning of the year, you lose Don Matthews as the head coach. One of your biggest supporters without question. And then less than 2 weeks ago, Tom Higgins tells the team that they're a two-quarterback team now. The walls are kind of closing in on you. How important is to have Danny Langsdorf now on the sidelines feeding you, able to look you eye to eye? How important is that for you, and then to come out and play the way you did tonight?
I think it's very important. The thing is that I noticed the guys on the sidelines, the guys in the locker room still have confidence in me, and they know once we get this thing turned around like tonight, I mean, we got to finish some drives though, but we did a lot of positive things, and as long as we're doing that, I mean, we're going to get some W's, and we just stay positive, stay focused, and stay poised, I mean, and not rush into a lot of different things, and not worry about what's going on in the newspapers and things like that. So I feel good. I felt good tonight. I never felt pressure. It's just going out and play the game and make the plays that you know you can make.
Nealon, Chris Schultz here. It was hot all night long, and you ended up staying in Ontario, and the whole week it was hot. Did that turn out to be one of those advantages for Edmonton? Because usually when the Eskimos come to this part of the country, they struggle, but not tonight.
I think the thing was they had us in Burlington on the water, and that's a big thing. So that was a very big thing for us. And then we came out here and practiced on the other side of Ivory, on the stadium. So everything worked out beautiful, and we can't ask for no more. It was a long trip. I mean, these 2 weeks, but now we get to go back home for a little bit and watch some of that ceremony and get back in BC.
Nealon Green, thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on the win.
Thanks a lot, guys.
There he is, Nealon Green, and the Edmonton Eskimos got it like that. If you missed part of the game, these guys will have all the highlights for you. Duffy and Dutchie, the next edition of TSN Sports Desk is coming right up. They're revving up their engines as we speak. So, Week 5 is underway, and the Eskimos get a nice road win, 24-14. You have been watching TSN, Canada's most watched sports network. We will see you tomorrow night for Wendy's Friday Night Football. On behalf of our entire crew, this is Dave Randolph saying good night. See you tomorrow.